I didn't know if I should do this one or whether figure people would know already, or maybe some people already know, but others shouldn't know. Um, every 3 months you should reevaluate your warframes, just in case changes happen within the world of Warframe, because that's what they do. Once every like 3 months, 3 or 4 months, they change something. Mostly once every 3 months, they change something like really major. And minors, they make change once a month. But typically, it's something every 3 or 4 months is something that's major change. Or sometimes this could simply means they nerfed something, not made a change to a Warframe or changed the mechanics or anything. They nerf something, and then it could be something on your part, the gamer. Um, Something you might have missed in when you were doing a build, or something that you believe that you did right but was actually done wrong. Sometimes you can miss these things. The thing is, when you're a gamer, and especially if you're doing more than one game, that could be an issue. But if you're playing one game and one game only, if someone tells you you're wrong at something, it's simply because they play more and reevaluate that game more than you do. Simply because they invest more time in that. Doesn't mean they know more. It's simply a time-based thing. The more you invest in one thing, the more you'll know more than someone else who invests his time sporadically in other things. So that's something that you should be aware of. So once every 3 months, you should go back and reevaluate your warframes. For instance, not many people know this. Like if you're doing master rank tests and you're fighting enemies that are shooting you and you're taking damage, obviously when an enemy shoots you and you take damage, that energy is used to replace the amount of bleed you're bleeding out for. So a portion of that is taken from you to heal you as well, so you don't bleed out. But at the same time, when that's happening, that's draining energy from your energy bar. That's in the lower right corner. And the more damage or the vast amount of damage you're taking by your energy bar, that energy bar goes down faster. For warframes like Nyx, Valkyr, and those who have drain per second warframes, that's based on how much they're taking at the time. If they're standing in one place and they're taking a lot of shots from an enemy, obviously their drain is going to go down faster because they're not doing anything. They're not stopping the enemy from shooting at them. Thus, the amount of damage that their shields or their energy is taking more. So it requires more energy in order to support the ability to stay active. So the drain goes down faster. So in a mission, like say if I do like I did back about a month ago, I did a practice test mission for master rank test, and I stood in one place for a while. But I only did that because I know the enemies were that strong. But I also did that because I know I wasn't just standing in one place the whole time. I was moving around. So the enemies, the bullets that they're doing towards you, it doesn't drain fast enough for the time period for when it replenishes for our next warframe. Especially especially if the mission is a survival mission. So the difference between survival missions and defense missions, they're not going to give you energy in defense missions or any mission for that matter. Survival is a specific type of mission that gives you energy, or other missions that specifically give you energy per the survival type of mission that it is. So when you pick up an energy, in order to keep up the energy count with regards to the survival mission, you're also picking up energy for yourself. So if you're a Warframe based on energy consumption for your per second, your energy is also not going down as well. So it's taking a portion from that. So if Nyx is in a mission and she's in a mission for a long time and it seems like her energy is not going down, it could be two things. There's no enemies around, so she's not taking any damage, so her energy is going to be dropping extremely far down. Same as Ivara. Or two, she's moving around and she's killing enemies at the same time. Thus, the energy doesn't fall and go down fast. So by the time Prime Flow kicks in, it could replenish it real quick because the next Warframe or the Ivara Warframe or the Valkyrie Warframe are killing enemies at the same time they're moving around. They're not taking that much damage moving around, and they're killing enemies at the same time, so those enemies cannot shoot them. So those damage could be done to their shields. And that's something a lot of people don't know with regards to those specific per second warframes. It's not simply about how much you keep up the efficiency and the flow and the energy count. It's more about how fast you kill your enemy before they kill you. Even for warframes that are god warframes, they cannot die if you're able to kill enemies fast enough, which you're able to keep up the shields, like in Nyx, like in Valkyr, fast enough for it to stay up. So the efficiency will hold on to the flow of energy that's going through the capacitors of their body, rather than it's depleting fast enough in order to retain the strength and stability of the shield. So the faster you kill any enemy, the more you're able to sustain anything. Just like warframes that don't can't survive per second will have to depend on other factors. Where in energy warframes per second, like Valkyrie, Nyx, Ivara, so on and so forth, or in Heldrin's case, shields. What you need to do is to move around and to kill. And then your powers, from your arcane energize will then distribute that energy back to you. But that's a 60% chance to replenish 150 NGs. So it's not a guarantee that you're going to get it all the time. So it's a 50-50 chance thing that will give to you and not given to you. So when you're having a warframe with efficiency, you have to have the 175, you have to have the high enough duration, and you have to be killing enemies at the same time. You cannot stay in one place. It doesn't matter if your warframe can go god. You never stay in one place even if they have god mode on, because they might not be taking energy or damage to their health and to their armor, but what is getting taken damage is the shields to their activated power that's using the energy. So the more it uses the energy to sustain the body, the more energy gets consumed. So the important thing that I'm trying to state here is you must always kill enemy fast enough. So here's a good example. I'll just use the next Warframe for this because I have to revamp her. I did a 2020 tank build for her, but I didn't state the specific in there. I already knew it was, but I didn't state the specific. So I might have to revalidate that one. So I'll show it here within this video. Now this is only next at this level, but it doesn't really matter. And she has this on, and she have Breeze Respite on and this on, and I don't have any of the Augur mod on for shield gating, but I do have Decaying Dragon Key on to return shields. I don't really need it. If I want, I could just give them more energy, but the thing is, the energy for this Warframe goes down eventually. It will go away eventually, and you will need to get shields up eventually. So when you do that rolling guard at 3 seconds, you'll have enough time to get at least a certain percentage of that shields up. Now this is just another test build. I will have to see how that performs. Typically I will put on Energy Siphon. Typically I put on Energy Siphon, and then I will put on Coaction Drift. But for this test is to prove that this is what you do when it comes to any Warframe. Of all Warframes, not just the ones that can go God mode. So this is just a test, and I'll test it with Valkyrie and with Ivara too. So This is to show how things work when you reevaluate things and how you should think when it comes to warframes. It's very important to always remember this because sometimes a lot of people forget and they assume that they're aware of what they're doing and they don't remember that this is how this thing operates. So as she's moving around, she's taking damage. That damage to her shields, the energy is being, see, look at the energy below. The energy below in the lower right isn't going down fast, but now the energy start to go down fast because she's not doing anything. But now because the enemy will drop energy pads. And if you stun the enemy, you're also stunning them from shooting you, which also stunning them from putting a lot of damage on your shields. So it's not that Warframe is efficient with regards to shields and could stay God mode for a long time. It's about killing fast enough and making sure you're moving around so you don't take a lot of damage. So let's say the enemy never gives you any energy. The most important factor with regards to fighting anything in Warframe. Let's say the enemy never gives you any health. The most important thing is to move, stick and move, and kill while you're using your energy. Because now look at that. All 100 level 165 enemies are dead, and she's still at the halfway point of her energy. Now, would that have worked if she was just staying in one place while they were all shooting her? No, eventually would have run out and she would be dead. Because like all warframes, the energy is required for replenishing one's health. The energy is required for replenishing one's internal component systems. The energy is required for keeping one's shields alive. The energy is required for making the warframe function and do their abilities. So energy in a warframe is very much like the energy in a battery. The energy is used for every single thing. So that's what I'm going to leave it with regards to next with regards to that. And then anyone within my clan that sees this, as long as you understand this, as long as you understand it's important to stick and move, as long as you understand that if you're using a god warframe or a warframe that goes with regards to per the second, or any god warframe, even a warframe that doesn't go by per the second of energy drain, it's important that you always stick and move. The less amount of damage you take and the faster you kill, the longer your survivability. That's how it worked. That's how it worked way back in the past. That's how it still works now. So moving on, I'll go to the next warframe, and this is why you reevaluate everything, because I'll state this in the next video. So that's what that means. And I'll use it for every single warframe. Well, not every, but most warframes. Um, so I'm going to stick and move using Excal. And I'll see how this works with a warframe that's even weaker than Nyx that can't go God mode. But he is at 175 efficiency. And he has good amount of armor. And he's not going to be shield gating, but maybe he should. But here's the thing though, shield gates only works with certain warframe. Shield gates does not work with certain type of other warframes. I don't care what anyone says, it just doesn't work that way. The Excalibur warframe is required to have enough efficiency so he could turn on his fourth abilities and do his DPS. If he cannot do that, then all the Excalibur Warframe is known for is radio blind and every now and again doing his fourth ability, because that's his bread and butter. His bread and butter is his fourth ability. So if he can't do that consistently and consecutively and continuously, then that's an issue. that is the reason why Brief's Respite isn't on with Coaction Drift. For DPS Warframes, it even though shield gating is important, shield gate requires you to have 4 Auger mods on, 1 Decaying Dragon Key on, and a Rolling Guard on, so that you don't straight out die. So let's say even if I replace this, Vitality and this is already here. I replace this and I put Rolling Guard on. I'm only going to use these 3 Warframes. Next, Excal, and then I'll pick another random. I'm not going to make this video long. Adaptation is a Rolling Guard. Rolling. It's important to reevaluate things. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, it's also important to reevaluate any game that you're playing once every 3 months. Because the devs do change things up, nerf things, and move things around. And sometimes you think something's the same, rolling, and then all of a sudden something's different. So if I put Rolling Guard in here, for those Argomods to be in those slots, 4 of something will have to be replaced. If I want to do his DPS like it typically does at 175 in efficiency and prime flow, because he'll need prime flow or flow, then I'll have to take this off. But that only allows me to have 1 slot. And he is DPS, so if I remove Intensify, that's not good. So that's just 1 slot. So he needs Fleeting and Streamline in order to be DPS. And he needs Flow to synergize with Streamline and Fleeting to be DPS. And he needs Rolling Guard for when he is about to die, because his health is about to go out. And he needs that 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are needed. So wait, actually, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are needed. So the only thing that you could see to remove would be Transit Fortitude, Intensify, and then you put 3 Auger mods there. But if I remove Transit Fortitude and Intensify and then leave this also empty, his strength goes down. So it's no longer a DPS Excalibur Warframe. It's just our I'm going to survive and fight enemies regularly Warframe. So we're not going to go DPS just to prove this point. We're going to try to do Shield Gate with this Warframe and see how that works out. How long can he survive? So I'm going to do 3. But since he's not, okay, so since he's not going to be doing DPS because this is low, I don't need to do this either. Or this. Because the whole point of him having high strength is for DPS. So we're going to go Shield Gate, Excal, without doing high DPS, so enemies die quick. And I guess I could throw in a Streamline just for some efficiency. So now all 4 Argos are there. And now I'm going to put Brief Respite in. That's that. And now I'm going to go and put on Decaying Dragon, and it is on. Okay, so that's fine. So I'll show you the difference between the DPS Excal surviving and Breeze Respite Excal surviving. Now, as a standard, he'll survive, but he won't kill enemies fast. He'll just survive longer, but he won't kill enemies fast. His bread and butter is to kill enemies fast. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. I could swear I thought this dude wasn't going to be able to kill all these enemies by himself. And I probably didn't need to keep doing my second abilities, so I'll test it one more time just to see. So I stand corrected. Eh, and this is why you do tests. Sometimes you think that you're 100% sure that something won't work, and it will work. So if you're trying to go for an Excalibur build of killing level 165 enemies or above, as long as you use the rolling guard effect and as long as you're moving and killing enemies fast enough, you'll survive. So this time I won't use the second ability, I'll just use the fourth ability. So I stand corrected. That's why it's called testing. And those are heavy gunners at level 170. So they're shooting bullets at an extremely fast pace. So I stand corrected. I'm only going to use the fourth now. That's strange. I didn't see the rolling guard taking effect whatsoever at all. Oh, there it is. It did take effect. I stand corrected. I 100% stand corrected. You don't need 200 power strength for the Excal. This might be the same for every Warframe as well. Carrying the shield gate. You don't need the one the 200. So that was the shield gate with the 124. Now we're going to try his regular abilities. Him on the standard without the shield gate on and without the dragon key on. And see which one is better. And without range. So I like these tests because they're fun tests. And I'll do one last test with regards to another Warframe. See how that goes. Actually, no, I'll keep it at Ivara. I'll keep it at Nyx and at Excal just to show how Shieldgate works and how you should pay attention to your energy consumption per each hit that the enemy does to you, as well as how fast you're killing enemies. So it's very important to reevaluate any of your warframes. So this is this. Rolling guard, I'll put rolling guard on again. Probably just need continuity. It's an 8 hours. Alright. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna take off the decaying dragon key. I'll put on anything. So now the decaying dragon key is off and his shield should be back to the way it was. Shield is still okay. Let me get out from the arsenal, go back in. Okay, so shields return back to 300. So now we're going to test his power, everything that he had before, but we're going to test him with armor and more health. Well, specifically with more armor and with duration, more duration, and with other mods as well. And with corrosive to see how that works. These two Warframes were the one I wanted to reevaluate to see because I just came across it one day and I realized there was something I did not see state within that Next God video, and something that was very important I should have stated. So I'm just going to state it now in this one and edit this video. The weapons don't matter since I'm going to use pure power. That's one. So there you have it. It's about the same. So increasing your power strength with regards to Excalibur does not make a difference whatsoever at all. Um, he does kill a little bit faster, but based on the fact of how fast you're killing and how fast you're moving, and I was moving just as fast as I was the last one that I was also in this one, you'll die at least once. Use up one revive against 20 enemies that are either from level 170, like level 150 to about level 170. At least once. 20 enemies. So having more strength doesn't matter, because if you balance it off with the shield gate and you balance it off with not having shield gate whatsoever at all, um, the fear, you have more fear of dying uh, and losing than you did with shield gate, because as you could see, his shield went down so many times, and he also took a lot of knockdown because he didn't have on his knockdown. Let's say if I had put on his knockdown, he wouldn't have got knocked down. So I would say him, with more strength to kill faster, without the shield gate, is equal to him having the shield gate, but he doesn't have any strength. So I guess that's the balance between shield gate and power strength. If you are going for Warframe with a lot of power strength and want to kill quick, and you don't want to use shield gate, it's a substitute for shield gate. But it also depends on how fast you're moving. So that was a test right there. And I would say 100%, even if he did kill all those enemies, in the end, um, he would eventually die by at least one before the end. Because the shield gate time doesn't kick in fast enough for the amount of bullets coming towards him, as well as the rolling guard time of 3 seconds don't kick in fast enough for him to get the rolling guard percentage. I mean, not percentage, the timer to take fast enough to give him that rolling guard again. So they're both the same with regards to substitution. If you don't have powerful mods to substitute for Warframe, you can go Shieldgate. But if you're trying to go powerful mods and kill everything quick, and you don't want to go Shieldgate, then you have to have high strength, and you have to have high duration or high strength and high efficiency. But if you don't want to add high strength, high duration, high efficiency, then Shieldgate is the best choice for it. Because as you can see, I only die with regards to Shieldgate simply because I wasn't moving fast enough, the same as without Shieldgate. But I didn't have that sense of fear that I would fail that I did with Shieldgate. So that's basically Shieldgate in a nutshell. Um, and that also applies to Nyx as well. So that's it for this video. I didn't want to get too complicated, go into it. I just had to make sure that I was also state this within this video, but at the same time also check that what I know for a fact work with Nyx also work with other Warframes, because I was looking at the energy meter at the bottom based on how well my performance was with regards to this character. Even though I was using the fourth ability through the entire match, and at the beginning I only used the second ability once, but the fourth through the entire match, I was watching the the meter drop, energy drop cost per every time he has to stun an enemies so that they don't shoot him. And it was fair. And it was around the same, I would say the same value with the shield gate or without shield gate. The only difference is it's more guaranteed that you'll survive with the shield gate than you would without it. It's not 100% guarantee, but if you're moving fast enough, it's more guarantee. If you're moving fast enough, if you don't move fast enough, you'll die. I, Mainly, I think shield gate is meant for those who want options without forming a lot. That's what Shieldgate is for. Or that's what people who want to have options with regards to effectiveness for the Warframe, rather than spending money to buy plats so they could form it so many times. Um, Shieldgate allows you to do that without having to form it many times. So that's that for that. The Shieldgate still works like it was from a year ago, and the balance between strength and fast skills is equal to amount of shield gate, or vice versa. Um, Based on how fast I was moving in the mission, based on how fast I was moving both for shield gating one and for the regular one, maybe I was moving just a little bit slower in the second one, simply because I didn't have prime sure footed on. But if I did have prime sure footed on, I believe it will still be about the same. It will still be one death. So yeah, this good test, good run. Reevaluate your warframes at least once every 3 months, or at least once every 4 months, because they do nerf these warframes, they do change these warframes around, and they do make them either for better or for worse. Or sometimes you think that you did something correct, and then when you rethink about it, when someone tells you, you go back and you rethink, you think, then you realize, yeah, I did that wrong, or yeah, if I practice in the simulacrum, um, and see the balance between one and the other, they're not that far apart. They're not like a full 30 seconds apart or 10 seconds apart. They're about a couple of seconds apart, but those couple of seconds are the difference between life and death. That's why shield gaining seems to be a more safer bet. So that's it for this video. Um, wasn't going to make a video today about this, but I just had to make sure I state this for my client, um, so they understand what the shield gating is, so they understand that how damage to energy or damage to the body, anything works with regards to a mission. Killing enemies as fast as possible allow you to retain as much energy as possible, um, or allow you to use more energy for powers if you're killing enemies. Like the only reason I use nothing but pure energy in this simulation, is to see how fast they would die before my energy runs out by using pure energy alone, not weapons or anything. So that's that for this video. Sorry for rambling on, but it's very important that to be specific about things sometimes. Sometimes I stutter a lot in my videos, but when I'm very like, hyped on something, or when I'm very into something, I'm just saying the words as they're happening. I don't go over a video just to reevaluate before I go online, because I need a lot of people. I need to be heard correctly. You're getting the real person speaking, not some. I rehearsed this like 3 times in my room, then I'm speaking on the internet. From professional point of view, if you're trying to get something, a specific something, that's the way you do it. But for just, to be real, that's definitely not the way to do it. Like if you're talking just to be real 100%, like, yeah, people know the difference between something that sounds off and something that's on. But I'm not going to get into that. So that's it for this video.